An approval of the minutes from February 3rd.
Did they get, did the date get changed on that? Because I know on mine, I had 10/7/2016.
Oh,
Good catch.
no, very good catch. Minutes.
Mhm.
Take a quick peek if you don't have anything to.
I didn't have anything.
What was the date of our last meeting?
February 3rd,
Yeah.
2016. Sorry. I know. Mhm.
Good one.
Well, because then I had to double check and say, well, wait a minute, these
Yeah.
old minutes that I missed, I didn't run with the right one. But all the content is right, it's just the date threw me off.
That's what I thought.
As I get older, I'm easily thrown.
Every now and then I forget to do that. I change it up in the document name and then I forget to go into the header.
Good.
All right, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
All right, a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, pass.
That's correct.
Yes, that's corrected. That's corrected. Thank you. All right, the only other correspondence that we do have is I received the legal notices from the Showbook Voice, Outreach Voice, and that was it. Pretty soon I know that they'll send us a bill. But that was it for correspondence. Anybody else get anything else? I mean, the other correspondence we'll talk about during the public hearing.
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Nothing else.
All right. I put down 6:15 for the public hearing, so we can take our time. And
So for our next
Mhm.
agenda, I'll try to have draft of the updated application ready.
Okay. All right, so we're not going to worry about that this time.
Definitely not.
Okay. All right. That's okay. All right. We've got
We might
enough.
end up having time. We don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, that was. Hmm?
I said we might end up having time. Who knows how long the
Mhm.
hearing will take.
I know, because
Oh,
it
but
looks like
we-
we've got a lot of
We
positive.
don't have anything prepared
Mhm.
to look at.
Mhm.
That's all right.
All right.
Someone forgot.
All right. Okay, like I say, we can't really start it early. We've got like about 4 more minutes. So, it's, I know further on we've got to, well, do you want, so Sandy is a new employee?
Yeah, we can talk about stuff that's not
Yeah.
advertised here.
Yeah.
Um,
I like your Facebook postings, like, where do you find those? Okay. Those animals, it's so cute.
Did you, the one of the
The
cat?
one, no, the one, yeah, the one with the goat going sliding and everything
yeah.
else like that.
But did you
Joy.
watch the one with the cat going around the tires?
Yes, with the mouse being on the
Oh,
tire.
yeah. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. It's like you don't.
I haven't seen it.
Cute.
Okay.
The one is the one where he puts on the glasses at the end.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
The mouse is just on the lug nuts.
lug nuts, yeah.
And the cat knows the mouse is there somewhere, so it keeps going around the tire.
And it's the same color as the rim. You can't see him like pointed out.
He's
We
just
do
so
have
quiet.
one more minute. Oh, yes, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I know, that's why I sent you the text.
Um,
Make sure we keep that in here.
yeah, we have a couple more minutes before we can officially do that. Where's my timer?
So I was telling Janet that maybe we would want to consider talking to Robert about possibly somehow getting support services from the new staff person. And I have also already, Carolyn emailed me and I emailed Robert
Right.
saying, because I didn't know she had started.
Yesterday.
Okay, and Robert hasn't gotten back to me, but I was just like, how would we go go about engaging her?
Yeah, because I would
We'll
think
be starting
right
like
now,
about
when
2
Brian was giving us stuff to do yesterday.
Go for
When
it,
you start,
go
it
for it.
takes a
Take your
while
time.
to get up to speed, so.
But you also want a task, you know, like
Yeah,
you
that's right.
want
Yeah.
something to do, so yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are we meeting tomorrow?
I haven't heard from Christine.
And I think it's important to try and have Carol in there, because, in particular because she's on the comprehensive master
Right,
plan. She
right.
can never do Thursdays.
Yeah, she can.
She's at this,
She's just after 7:30, or
Right.
7:30, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's coming?
Yeah. But it's Jason, Ruth, and Faith can't. Faith was kind of a maybe, but it sounded like she couldn't make it. And then I didn't hear from Christy.
Do you want to come up forward?
So I don't know if we can have a meeting yet.
To be determined.
Three cheers, if that's okay.
Yeah? Oh, that's fine.
And do make sure everybody identifies themselves, including people who speak.
Okay, I will make sure that I'm good. All right, with it being 6:15, I'm going to call to order the public hearing, and I'll go ahead and read the legal notice. One thing I do want to make note of is if you do go ahead and speak, give us your name. If it's a difficult name, spell it.
Okay.
Especially with Providacus, so that Jess can go ahead and get it inside the minutes correctly. All right, so thank you, everybody. The legal notice of the Town of Ayer Community Preservation Committee, notice of public hearing regarding Sandy Pond School Association Restoration Project. Notice is hereby given in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 44B, the Community Preservation Act, that the Ayer Community Preservation Committee, CPC, will hold a public hearing at Town Hall, the first floor meeting room, at 1 Main Street in Ayer, Massachusetts, on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2016, at 6:15 p.m. The purpose of this meeting will be to review the application from the Sandy Pond School Association for CPA funds to perform a conditions assessment that will evaluate the historic schoolhouse located at the corner of Sandy Pond, Willow, and Westford Roads, and will prioritize its repair and restoration needs. All residents, members of the general public, and any persons desiring to listen to the discussions or be heard on the matter of the community preservation may appear at that time and place indicated. The Community Preservation Committee, Janet Providacus, Chair, and this was listed on February 19th and on February 22nd. All right, so thank you. All right, we do appreciate you coming forward, and with that, I just want to make sure, did you get copies of the recommendation letters that came from both the historic and for...
Yes, we have copies of both.
All right, that sounds great. All right.
Right.
So go ahead and make your presentation.
One quick, and you're
Go ahead.
Stacy Spies? I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes.
Got it.
Oh, sorry, I was going to introduce her. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And spelled just like secret agent.
Just to introduce the whole cast of characters, I'm Irving Rockwood, Vice President of the Sandy Pond School Association. Randy Boutelle,
Randall Boutelle, President of the Sandy Pond School Association.
Boutelle.
Very good.
And Stacy Spies, who is a historic architectural historian and preservation consultant. And it's SPIES. And Stacy is the person who prepared the National Register nomination for the school, and is probably, I think, the historic authority currently on on Sandy Pond School. Stacy actually has been working this year on 3 separate single room school preservation projects. So has kind of developed an expertise.
Yeah, it just planets aligned up. 2 of them are out in Peterson, 2 one-room schoolhouses. So, and they were all built within 20 years of each other. So,
Wow.
I know a lot.
Good timing.
So
And actually,
your learning curve has been reduced now.
yes, I did. Yeah, But need another one, so I can, so I can coast on the fourth one.
You can maybe graduate to multi-room.
Maybe, we can get a second story maybe.
Then I don't think it would be historic, so. All right.
So, well, I think the main point that I guess I really would emphasize at this point, the conditions assessment is in fact an assessment. The deliverable for this funding request will actually be a document that would be we would utilize to make some decisions about what needs to be done to the school in terms of restoration, preservation, longer-term maintenance. It will help us develop a plan to do that. It would give us an idea of the costs that are likely to be involved, and also a list of the sort of continuing expenses that we would expect to encounter. And it will provide us with some professional advice on the architecture of the building, on the history, the historical aspects of that, and the structure of the property. We have not had anything done like that to the property to the extent of, to the best extent of my knowledge up to this point. And we are aware that there are likely to be some issues and problems that we, at the moment, are not aware of, and our goal is to try to identify those now as soon as possible so that we can take appropriate steps to address them. This project, if approved, this particular project can be completed relatively quickly. The quote that we have from Spencer and Vogt, is one of the leading firms in this particular little line of work, indicated that they would be able to complete this work within about 3 months from start to finish. So our goal here would be ideally to have the report in hand well before the end of the year, hopefully perhaps as early as September, October, and be able to, at that point, start to talk about a longer-term plan and, of course, the financing of it. And one of the other aspects of this conditions assessment is it will be done to Massachusetts Historic Commission specifications, which means that it can be used as as source material for requests for funds from the Mass Preservation Fund. And that's, I think, at this point, sort of what I have to say. I'll be happy to answer questions, but I thought it might be good if we had Stacy talk a little bit about
I think so.
the school, because she really has identified a lot of interesting aspects of the property.
Yeah, actually, there were a lot of interesting things that I learned about it that I had not expected. One of the things was especially that battle over the schools. Actually, the first thing I should say is reading the school committee notes from the 1840s to the 1860s sound very familiar. I mean, you could swap out some dates, and it's a similar sort of, it's entertaining in that it's very similar to the sorts of conversations we have today. Part of what was happening in the 1830s and 1840s was this common school movement. When they were moving, there was a general movement. Reformers were saying one-room schoolhouses are not enough. There's not enough individual attention. The teacher can only handle a few kids at a grade at a time. So there was really a push. And what I found out was that George Boutwell, who was on the Groton School Committee at that time, who eventually became the third state commissioner for education in Massachusetts, he was a very big proponent, and he really did not like district schools. So I really was entertaining to find out that Sandy Pond School is considered a very late bloomer, and it was built in the 1860s, which was not a common thing. You were really getting into bigger schools like they were here in what became Ayer, and a whole battle over the schools is one of the reasons Ayer slid off onto its own municipality. But so George Boutwell was in this whole school committee, and he vowed as state education commissioner that he was going to get rid of all these district schools. And then at the very end of his tenure here on the school committee in Groton, one got built, and so that's this one. So it's very interesting that, and it's very pretty. It's a little fancier, but it's interesting that for all his fighting that there were not going to be any more one-room schoolhouses in Massachusetts. One got built on his watch. So he retired right after this was built. So I got a chuckle out of that. So, but it was very interesting to find the commonalities. The reformers really said, this is what we want. If you're going to have a one-room schoolhouse, these are the things. You need to make sure there's adequate ventilation and heat and light and all sorts of things, which were new at that time. And the Sandy Pond School really is a textbook. I mean, you can pull up the textbooks from the time, and it really fits the bill.
Okay.
One of the things I wanted to, and I actually have an extra copy. I did bring a copy of a conditions assessment. I actually went to a Massachusetts Preservation Projects Fund workshop recently, just to make sure that what the Sandy Pond School Association was thinking for the schoolhouse would be in alignment with what the kinds of things. And actually, I had already printed this out as a sample. And they told me at the workshop, they're like, the South Egremont Village School would be a good model. So that's what I was relieved to see that was what I already had in hand. Because part of what I had recommended to the association was I want to make sure that whatever you're going to be working on and whatever, the building blocks, that whatever you do here, you can just hand off for any other funding, you want to hit the threshold for the minimum standards for what they're looking for, so that everything you do is a good building block for the next funding round. And I was relieved when he said, there's one I think you should look at. I said, this one? So I was relieved.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I actually have an extra copy if anyone wants one. I don't know. It's a little, if you're having trouble sleeping tonight, that might be a good fix.
Stacey, I had a sense from your research that it seems like Sandy Pond School might actually be sort of a important icon with respect to the formation of the town of Ayer.
There was a very big battle
Yeah.
because once the railroads came in, it was very sparsely inhabited, and when the railroads came in all at once, there were 5 railroad lines that came in, there was a very big battle which became District 12. They felt they weren't getting adequate representation, and there was a very big battle over the high school, and so there was really a big push over, push and pull between Groton proper and Groton Junction, and who was, whether District 12 downtown here was being adequately represented, and they did not feel they were, and then that's.
And my sense was that the reason that George Boutwell might have given ground on allowing the building of Sandy Pond School was it was being adamantly requested by Groton Junction, and they were in the town, and Groton was trying to prevent secession.
It was just throw them a little bone. And one of the reasons the schoolhouse did last as long as it did was there was no easy way to get the children. They were trying to bring everybody either into downtown Groton or here into District 12. And there was no easy way to do it. They were picking up whatever train would come through Willows Junction, whether it was 6 a.m. and there may be a train coming back out that way at 6 p.m. So and school started when you were 4 years old, so people did not want to send their 4-year-olds on a train at 6 a.m. and hope they come back safe and sound at 6 p.m. So it wasn't until the trolleys came in on Sandy Pond Road in 1905 that really was the. I think they were sending high schoolers in earlier, but the younger kids really stayed for a long, long time.
So a one-room schoolhouse would have 4-year-olds to 18-year-olds?
That's, yeah.
A wide span.
Yeah, I mean, you really, and actually when I did some census research, the internet's, and thinking back to when I was in grad school, how many hours it would have taken 20 years ago. But I was able to track down student names, family names, and some of these, I'll call them young women because they were the teachers, but they were recent graduates, maybe. So they were maybe 16, and they sometimes had 18-year-old students. And another thing that I was really excited to see, and it was certainly evidenced by historic photographs, but it seems like Sandy Pond School was always integrated. Everybody, whether or not you were a carpenter or you were your father was the person who cleaned the schoolhouse, it was an integrated community, and everybody went to school together.
And pretty much is everybody from Groton Junction.
Actually, Groton Junction was big enough later on that it had its own school, and actually I think it had 2-story at one point. So this was actually really a very small. I'd say by the time the Sandy Pond Schoolhouse was built, it was So it's 68, and 71 was the session. The school got built here downtown right around the same time, so they were really the last outlier. They were like the last one-room schoolhouse in town. And so it was really everybody, it was a very small group. It was everybody who lived right by the schoolhouse, and then a few people over the line into Littleton. So the Pingree, all the Pingree kids from Pingreeville came over. And there's also, they were also trying to keep numbers up. They were taking some kids, they paying kids from the Harvard Quakers. Shakers, excuse me. I went to school in Pennsylvania. Excuse me. I had a Philadelphia moment there. It did not sound right. No, but a lot of the Shaker North students came over as well. So it was kind of neat to see how they were just sort of collecting, trying to keep numbers up.
Groton Junction that didn't become Ayer. Ayer was part of Groton Junction?
Groton Junction was really just the railroad stop, so that was right here.
Okay.
And what year did the railroad come?
I think the 1840s is when it all came in.
1843.
Yeah, I think there was a
But it
5-year,
was-
6-year span where they all.
It became Groton Junction after the north, south, east, west
Okay.
rail station came in. And they just, it was all part of Groton, but it was referred to in that area as Groton.
Because it was the
Junction.
railroad junction.
Okay.
So I have the Fitchburg Railroad, 1845, Worcester and Nashua, 1848, that's the rail trail. Stony Brook, 48, Peterborough and Shirley, 1848. So the population of Groton increased by 86% in 40 years, mostly because of the railroads.
There were more in Groton Junction than
Yeah.
Groton.
Suddenly you had,
Groton.
everybody was downtown here, and I think
Is that all part of the historic application?
it's all in the National Register
Yeah,
nomination.
that's what, yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, it really, all of a sudden, there was a big population center, and there were actually factories. There was a factory that relocated from Rhode Island because of the access to all the railroads. So everybody who was back in what was the center of Groton was suddenly, what's going on? You know, we're outnumbered suddenly. So it really shook things up quite a bit. So it was very interesting to see. And then the irony is, of course, as soon as Ayer seceded in 1871, they were saying we don't want to, they then soon abandoned all the one-room schools that they had, and they made leveled schools as well. So the battle was won. So it was really interesting.
Because the schoolhouse was no longer used by, what year,
1905, I believe, is when the
1906.
it was 06,
Yeah.
when the trolleys came in. The trolleys came in 05, so they needed another year. And that's actually another interesting part with the Sandy Pond School Association. Came in, and I had thought it was, kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? Idiosyncratic, like it was just a one-time thing. But the schoolhouses I was working in, I've been working on in Petersham as well. They actually had a school association, and they had alumni weekends once a year, and it had a very similar feel. And they would get together once a year, and they'd so you'd have have the membership rolls, and it was all the teachers and cousins and everybody who had ever worked there. So it's really kind of, even the association really fits into a bigger pattern. But certainly Sandy Pond has lasted a lot longer.
What's the largest enrollment it had during its 40 or 30 years?
It was always very small.
Yeah.
I was thinking
30.
maybe 30 kids in a peak year.
Yeah.
Maximum. I think a lot of years it was in the teens. It kind of
Yeah.
squeaked along for a long
Yeah.
time.
And one other question, the association is relatives of either the teachers or the students and such of Sandy Pond, correct? Everybody in the
You mean
association?
the original group that...
And also to going, to today as well,
Yes, it
Mhm.
was.
Randy's
Well, like my great-great-grandmother taught school in 1855, and her
Okay,
father taught school after her, I believe.
okay.
So it comes down to the family.
Mm-hmm.
And the association was basically meant old teachers, the students,
The students. Mhm.
and relatives of the students.
Okay, all right.
yeah, just
Like I said, this is your baby.
There's-
A
there's-
neighborhood and community social
Yeah, it became a
center.
community
Right.
center.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
and for a long time,
hmm
yeah, for a long time.
okay.
And I just wandered in, I had no relative, not related to anybody.
You're a good spokesperson.
Well, I am related to one of the other members of the board.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
But I think that's the really interesting thing is it's evolved, because what you do if you're created as a reunion group when nobody's left alive who went to that school or taught at that school, what do you become? So it's kind of, I really like that it's evolved. And that was, the one up in Petersham had a similar sort of thing, that
Right.
there was just suddenly, and that became a whist club, like bridge, they played
Oh,
whist.
wow.
I walked in and there was a pencil sharpener on every windowsill, and I thought, these children were really industrious, but it was from the whist club.
Okay.
So, but it was just funny. I was like, why are there so many pencil sharpeners?
I don't even want to know which type.
It was
Okay.
it did made me chuckle, but I liked seeing how they all sort of evolved, and they all kind of came out of that same sort of early 20th century spirit of school spirit sort of thing, early
Do
alumni.
any of the others have a piano?
One of them did, yes. But I did get a kick out of, because, and actually there's one of the photos that I used, I don't have the photo here, there was no, oh dear, what was the, there's a sign in the schoolhouse that says you need to dance
Oh,
properly.
no objectionable.
No
dance.
objectionable dancing.
Allowed.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we don't,
Never mind, we got
yeah.
to
Try to
take a picture of that one.
try to keep things very decent.
There
yes.
probably would have been a lot of
Yeah.
objectionable dance moves back in that
Yeah.
day.
Well, it was originally a schoolhouse that had the original floor had like a stepped seating like you would have in a stadium, so that the kids in the back, the teacher could keep her
Yeah.
eye on everybody. And then when it became more of a community center, then they needed a good floor for dancing, so that's when they leveled the floor. So, but I like that's one of my favorite photos, is the no objectionable dancing, per order of the Sandy Pond School Association.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
and we're still enforcing that.
Figure so.
Got it.
But the definitions may have changed.
Slightly.
All right. And with the conditions assessment, like you say, you're going to go ahead and get an idea of what it will take for the next phases to be done, like, what type of work needs to be done on the schoolhouse and such, and especially if you want to make it accessible for the public and such. So you see, it being, in the long run, open so that other schools and things like that can come through and
Yeah,
visit.
The long-term goal is not just to preserve the property, but in fact to make it open, to have the property be open as much as possible, and exactly on what basis and when and how, so that still will be, needs to be worked out. But there are a variety of possibilities. We certainly want the people to be able to get into it and to use it. And basically the assessment will sort of break down things into three general categories. The first list would be any emergency work that needs to be done. We hope that's a short list, but that will be one category. And we are aware of one problem that is mostly aesthetic, but not completely aesthetic. It does need to be addressed, and that's the ceiling work. And then a second category of sort of other items that need to be addressed in the medium term. We've become aware potentially of one of those in the course just of having the architect from Spencer go just look at the property for the purposes of making a proposal. And then the third would be what are the from a maintenance standpoint, what are going to be the ongoing expenses that will need to be addressed? What sorts of things do we need to be prepared to deal with on an ongoing basis? It's like any property. My house, for example.
They'll give you be able to give you a calendar.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we have to go there?
Yeah. And so they'll be able to give you, say, quarterly, you need to check on this every year, and so it'll be a nice checklist on what you should be watching for, what should be, so you can kind of stay ahead of it and you can start to plan.
Okay. And Spencer and Vogt have done, from the information you've given to us, they've done so many other historical sites as well.
They have done many.
Because this is such a specialized.
Yeah, well, they also do a lot of not just the conditions assessments, but they often do maintain, manage and conduct the actual, supervise the actual restoration work as well. That's what they're doing in Groton with the First Parish Church on the Green. And I was delighted when they actually quoted, because this is a rather small project, and many of their projects are much larger than this.
Will they give cost estimates for the restoration actions?
They will
Is
give
that-
us cost estimates for the work that they identify, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those, of course, will be estimates. You then
Right.
would actually go out and get actual quotes for
Sure.
the work, and the actual quotes might differ from the estimates.
At least it gives a ballpark, so
And
you
it-
can
Right.
plan ahead, and especially when if you want to go and plan for,
Right.
Yeah.
apply for other grants,
Right.
it'll be a document that,
Yeah.
is reasonably,
And then they'll be using their expertise such that that cost estimate actually includes restoration to the National Historic Preservation Standards
Yeah.
and all of that, because that's
yeah,
specialized.
that's why I'm also
Yeah.
excited that they bid, because they're,
Mhm.
they've done this a million times, and they've gotten plenty of, grants from the state, so they know what's expected, so that would be the worst scenario would be to get someone who wouldn't know, and then you would apply and it wouldn't be enough, so,
Mhm.
this is more a little front-loaded in that if we get some more expertise at the front end, that it should make the way clearer down the road.
Okay, all right. Any other questions?
Just to confirm the
The
funding
amount?
request is still 16,750.
Yes, we haven't changed that.
No.
Right.
Okay.
And that includes the site plan or site layout, whatever it was that you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was the 1,500.
Yeah, we do have one
Oh,
other
right.
grant application in, but with a little bit of luck. And that would be,
Oh,
a-
so that's the
if
school
we-
country
yeah, if we were to
schools.
get that, that'd be a very small grant. But yeah, I guess my one concern is I hope we have, I hope that the grant request is adequate in terms of the money. The quote did come in less than we originally were ballparked, but I think that's in part because the property is physically rather small. Secondly, there's some things that aren't there. There's no heating system, for example, so you don't need to bring in a heating engineer to work that over. So I think
Yeah, I was pleased that it came in. I was kind of working off of when I was
yes,
scaring them with what I thought it might cost.
which you did.
Yes, I scared them. I know I scared you nicely.
Sleepless nights, yes. Believe me.
Was working. What I wanted to make sure is I worked off of what I had seen. Massachusetts Preservation Projects Fund had funded for similar. The one that I kind of keep using is the most recent schoolhouse one, and it's a bigger schoolhouse that's also used for town functions. So it's got a heating system. It's got other things in it.
Yeah.
So. It's got other issues.
Yeah, the grant request actually is intended to cover 3 separate expenses, although they might wind up getting invoiced together or some of them. One is the conditions assessment work. Another is the development of the creation of an actual site plan for the property. I discovered the town of Ayer does not have such a site plan. If we could have provided them with a site plan, that would have saved about $1,500. The town engineer was able to give us some information that will help them create the site plan, but the town does not have one. And then the third item will be the historic consultation. It's important with any historic property to not just identify the structural problems, but when you're looking at the remedies, you want those remedies to be consistent with the historic nature of the property. And so that will be one of the...
Sort of like a check and balance.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, right.
Okay. All right, so that all adds up to 16,750, because you've got the 1750. Do you want the numbers, Jess? or-
No,
Okay,
got that.
okay, good. Okay. All right, so, all right, did you have another question? That's it? You guys all set?
Yeah. Just that, I think that through this process of you coming forward and proposing this project, we're delighted to have the opportunity to support a project like this, and are seeing, from the Historic Commission and the Board of Selectmen, definitely extension of their appreciation for the historic nature of the structure and wanting to see it preserved. And so I think it's really great to see that kind of support. And given that, there's potential for additional town funding to go towards this project, just want to encourage you to, consider it a real partnership an opportunity to, you know, be able to work together and provide more access to the facility and the structure in the future, and this educational component that Stacy's, you know, uncovered, I think is just, you know, to envision that we could have panels that explain, you know, these kind of dynamics, and, you know, that there's nowhere in town right now for anyone to be able to go and hear about, you know, how the school issues were feeding into, and even the railroad that led to the school issues, and then you know, to really envision that, you know, that there could be an interpretive display even outside of the schoolhouse or something like that would help to explain, you know, all of this that led to the formation of the town of Ayer, is really exciting. So, you know, glad that we're gonna potentially be able to work together on this. And then coming from the Open Space and Recreation Plan Committee, thinking about the exterior of the area and how we could encourage more use of that space. And again, that the interpretive stuff doesn't have to be centered just within the structure, but it could be exterior and could involve picnic facility or a maypole or something, you know, something that would help kids to realize what children of the period when they were coming to the one-room schoolhouse would have been doing at that time.
We think they need sheep and goats.
2 cows would help too.
We were just discussing that when we were waiting to start, that we're like, we need to get the lawn mowed, and we were talking goats, bring in some goats.
Yeah.
But actually, there's even, and it's really neat that there's there is a collection of historic photographs from when it was, you know, in school photos of all the kids in front of the school. And what really strikes you is you forget that it was all farm fields. And so you can just see all the way up the hill, and so it looks so different from what it is now. So you can even do interpretive panels outside and say, compare this view with what you see. And it looks a little different. Everybody thinks that there's all these trees, but by that point, that was all farm fields.
Well, I know that they've been posting some of the pictures, you know, on Facebook with regards to downtown Ayer. And, you know, again, it was just, you know, the Moore Block, you know, I mean, really, that's it. It's like, wait a minute, you know, a town hall and, you know, and such. So that would be good. The other thing, too, that, you know, as time progresses, and I know we've emphasized to make sure that the library also has some sort of copy, because that's what we've asked, you know, the fire department to do and such, just because with the netting, you know, room there, they can go ahead and display it, or at least have it available. So that
what will be happening is what they've been doing at the Massachusetts Historical Commission is once something's on the Massachusetts Register, and they pretty much, and then they send it down to national, down to DC, and it pretty much just gets a rubber stamp at that point. That they will be sending a formal copy to the libraries.
Excellent.
So that's taken care of all the way from the Boston end of things. So
nice.
It's nice because they realize that there's a lot of this is online, but you have to click through a number of websites to get that, as opposed to having just a nice something you can put on the shelf. So they are doing a good outreach with that. And I actually have talked about when I get the final edits from the state. I'll make sure I have a copy with all my photographs as well.
All right, that's
Sandy
great.
Pond will have it to give to the library as well.
Nice. All right, that's great. All right, are there any questions from anybody out there? No? All right. I think really, and this is the part that I always, you know, wonder about. You know, definitely, I know that we're all in favor, you know, and such, you know, to go ahead and be able to do this. It will be on the agenda for the town warrant. When I develop it, I'll go ahead and I'll send it over to you so that you can get a review of it after these guys give me the feedback. But I think really one thing I do want to say, you know, is I'm going to put it down for the $16,750. Sometimes, you know, we go, you know, plus or minus.
I was wondering if we should raise it a bit just in case.
All right.
Give us a cushion, a little wiggle room.
Like 20?
Well,
19
let me tell you. Well, let me just tell you the way
19 sounds better. Think of arguments.
Again,
19,999.
The way I have it read up is, you know, the sum of money not to exceed 20,000.
Yeah.
And because what ends up happening is if it ends up being the 16,750,
Sure.
that's all that's going to be used.
Great.
Okay, the rest of it will not.
Yeah, 'cause the checks
and-
just go to the vendors. I mean, yeah.
and detailed invoices. That will be something, because we will have an agreement that you'll have to sign
Right.
that will stipulate, again, that CPC, the conditions assessments have been funded, by CPC, the pictures and everything. Plus, as you get the invoices, they've got to be detailed. It just can't be, done. And that's it. So like I say, we try to do that now with a grant agreement with every one of the fundings that we do have.
Do you happen to have the balance for the historic category?
That's okay. That's right. I don't know if,
Because we'll put in the warrant whether or not it comes exclusively from the historic category, or whether or not we'll have to take some of the funds from the general fund.
historic's got a lot. I mean, historic is, it's community housing that we've been depleting, okay? As of October of last year, we're at 148.
Okay, so we can cover it all from the historic category.
Yeah, that should be fine. And
If I
then,
know it's 148,
Now you tell us.
I think you might have additional expenses down the road.
so
let's
we'd rather make sure we take care of that. Yeah.
Stacy, let's go talk.
No, and you know what? And you want to save that. You want to save that too, because you
Yes,
might want to add down the line for some
absolutely,
matching funds. That's
absolutely.
been part of one of the big things from the preservation projects
Right.
fund. It's in the beauty of making money from money. So
And that's what I really feel is the sort of highest and best use of our CPA funds is whenever you can use them as matching for additional funding sources.
Right.
So we love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was.
Well, I was going to say that
Yeah.
the town loves
when
that.
I scared them with the price, I said it'll be worth it, because once you get it to that limit, once you get to that threshold, then you can make more money happen. So
Okay, so is there any disagreement or any discussion with regards to making the warrant and the, for
I'm
not to
okay
exceed?
with it.
Yeah, I just think this is one of Ayer's treasures, and
Oh, yeah.
by
Yeah.
It is.
doing
Truly,
this,
truly is.
doing this repair in such a
Yeah.
manner, it's going to enhance the historic value of this property.
Agreed.
By
Yeah, it's
far.
really rare property.
And again,
it's refreshing for me to see that it's not so far gone yet. I mean, it's so
It's still pristine.
it's so
Yeah.
well
It truly is.
maintained.
Yeah.
I rarely come in and see things as
It's good.
it's such good. It's been they've been such good stewards for it. That's the perfect word for it.
All right.
That's
That's good to know. May 9th is our town, town meeting.
Yeah.
All right, and that's where, hopefully, depending upon where we are on the docket, whatever.
What night it'll
Okay.
be.
What night it will be, but hopefully it will be that night. Okay, so if you could make it, just in
Wonderful.
case there are any questions from the audience.
I'll always remember Stacy, the first time I met Stacy, she came up to look at the property because we were seeing whether she'd be interested in working on the historic, nomination for the National Register. And she went through the schoolhouse and I asked her, so what do you think? She said, slam dunk.
They talk about things being remodeled. It hasn't been remodeled. Okay. Randy's a stickler. It's so good. And he comes from a long line of sticklers that just had to be maintained well. So truly, in the word of the vocabulary word stewards have been really.
As the ancestor said, nothing can be deleted, nothing can be added. It must stay the same. If a wood shutter falls off, it's replaced with a wood shutter, exact as the original. And that's why it looks, 1906, you open the door, you step back into time.
It's really neat.
And the old timers were very, very vigilant on their keeping it the way it should be.
All right, now that's good.
So, we
And
have
I
Ready
like
for
that.
sticklers?
most of
See,
the time.
us people with OCD, Sorry, I'm saying us.
I understand.
You could have a career in preservation, but be just fine.
You got it. Okay, then.
Great.
I think this closes the public hearing.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
Meeting up.
Do we vote?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's why I always goof on this. Can we vote?
Yeah,
We should at least vote to advance it to town meeting.
Okay.
Because
So,
then they can put on the warrant, unanimous support and all that.
all right then. Okay, so can I get a motion to have this application for not to exceed $20,000 for the conditions
I
assessment?
make a motion that we approve the not to exceed $20,000 for the application for the assessment of the Sandy Pond Schoolhouse, and to be put on the town warrant for this May 9th.
All right. Second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you so
May
much.
9th, we'll be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sandy, thank you. All right.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right, take care, Andy. You got it.
Stacy.
Stacy, I'm sorry.
Sandy Pond School.
Sandy Pond, see? I was gonna say.
Closing the meeting.
You have to
Closing
close the
the
public
public
hearing.
Okay,
hearing.
and yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to close the public hearing now. So, thank you,
Motion.
everybody. Motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. So glad you guys got my back.
It's all right.
It's a team. All set? You got it. This is gonna be good. Yeah. But we've got, like I say, copies of the letters and everything else. All right. Okay, moving right along. I've asked Steve Safakis to be here at 7 o'clock with regards to the property, which I realize I didn't even put on the agenda. Oh, that's because it was done before. Okay. So we'll have him go ahead and put that on there.
And Jason said he might not be able to make it until
Till
7:15 or something like that.
Correct. Okay. All right, then we'll just move on. With regards to the warrant development, if you all don't mind. Okay? But, and again, forgive me, I don't know if I've gone ahead and told you what, or if I included you all on the CC to, from Lisa with what the set-asides are from the town? Did I, or did I
But
not?
Yeah.
I don't know if
Okay.
this is 231,
Yes.
635, is that the?
Yeah, 231,
Yeah.
635, because what I've ended up doing.
231, 6.
35
635.
is the total. The CPA surcharge is 182,858. That's provided by the assessing administrator. And then the state match, right now it's at about 28%, and that's $48,777. Hold on. I don't have my spreadsheet with me. So if we're looking at the total of the 231,635, we reduce that by the administrative amount of the $5,000 for costs that CPC incurs
So reduced by 5,000
by 5,000.
for administrative. Okay.
And then we take 10% of that for historic, which is, like I say, the 231,635. 10% of that is 23,164. Will be for historic.
Can you say that a little bit slower?
Sorry, 10% of the 231,635 is $23,164 for historic. 10% for community housing, same amount. And then we have the due diligence for open space and such when we need, and that's $12,000. And the Sandy Pond warrant of $20,000.
Sandy Pond warrant?
Sandy
Oh.
Pond School Association.
Well, that
Again,
has to go to historic first, and then
Okay.
it would come out of historic,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's
Right,
not gonna
so
be,
that's
that's a
not-
separate warrant item,
Okay.
not part of the allocation.
All right, so which, okay, so that's, so what will end up happening is the open space total amount then would be 168,308. So I'll add the 20,000 back in, I believe.
Mhm.
Probably not, hold on. I'm always. I know, I know. We'd be lost without it, right?
Used to do that.
I must have rounded somewhere, because I got 168,307.
Oh, it's the
Right.
164.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did
that's
that.
why.
Yeah.
But I have to keep it at 164 because, right, 10%, 0.5 would round up to 4.
So we could make the open space total 168,307.
Correct.
Yeah.
that seems to work for me.
Yep.
And then we would have a separate article that would identify the 20,000 from historic.
Okay. So,
Then we should specify historic.
yeah, let me just double check. All right, so I've got the breakdown for the 5,000, the 148,307, the 23,164, typo, 23,164.
Wait, what did you say, the 48?
168, right?
Oh, 168. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 168.
Got it.
168, 304, 308,
307.
307.
Yeah.
Sorry.
168,307. And what that is sort of like the bulk, whatever's rest.
Mhm.
So that may fluctuate depending upon what the whole amounts that we do receive. And that's why I asked Lisa for an update, which we haven't received yet. Okay, so like I say, I've already generated a rough draft of that. The 12,000 for the due diligence, and it's for,
Is that a separate article then?
yeah, it is.
The due diligence is
The
its
due
own?
diligence is, and it's,
The recent one, or is that the one from, this is October? I just
that's
wanted
the
to
October
picture
one.
if I
That's
can-
the October one. This is my,
Yeah.
this is my worksheet. Okay, the due diligence of 12,000 is for future appropriations by the CPC for general open space purposes or take any actions thereon or relative thereto. Okay, and then for Sandy Pond School Association, and I realized something that when I did the legal notice, I put down restoration project, and I probably should not have named it that, so on here for the warrant article, I put down Sandy Pond School Association Condition Assessment Funding Project, all right, to make sure that it is specified completely. Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead,
you, in your math, took the
The 12 out.
12,000,
because that's what we did last year. It came out,
but then,
because it reduces the open space amount.
but is this the same article as the one that's allocating? Because, is this a separate article than the one that was talking about the 5,000, the 23?
Yes, it is separate.
But you had the 12,000 in this one too, didn't you? In the other article? No.
No. No. It's only the 5 and the other 3.
Okay.
And that's what we had last year.
Okay.
Do- do.
And that's why this, do you think this
So
needs to be higher?
Would the 12 first go in and then go out? Or, right? Because shouldn't this total everything that we get from the state? This article should total everything that we get from the state, I think.
Okay.
Don't you think?
I'll find out, because like I said, this is what we did last year, and I'll find out from Lisa. If it does, then that would get increased by 12,000.
Right.
Okay.
Because see, I thought, I mean, it would be one or the other. Right now you're doing it twice. Right? It would,
In like 2012, we did the 5,000, then big bulk to open space, the amount to historic resources and community housing, and then a transfer of 12,000.
right.
And within one article?
Within one article.
Yeah.
All right,
like-
let me-
But this is, you're not taking that money in here, but you are transferring it out.
Okay.
So you need to
Balance it.
figure out how, yeah.
Okay, so we
I
can,
think,
we can
you
go
know, so
ahead.
it's fine to do it all in one article,
Mhm.
and it would just be kind of like the 5,000 administrative, in saying that we're also putting 12,000 to due diligence for open space.
And that was 2012?
Yeah, let me just see what we have for, I'll skip ahead a couple years.
So this was 2000, I used 2015's to generate the 2016 to 2017.
Oh, for 2015.
You see, because this comes right from it doesn't come from any open space.
Mhm.
Oh, it's just coming from.
It comes from the CPC estimated annual revenue, that's what this comes from.
Oh, okay, okay.
So this has to be added to these.
Well, if it's worded that way,
Yeah.
and if Lisa has,
Mhm.
if it's what we did last year and Lisa has blessed it, then I guess it should be fine.
Uh,
I was thinking that this was
Mhm.
saying it was coming from open space,
Open
but
space.
it's saying it's coming from the
From-
reserve, same as this,
Mhm.
okay. All
I
right,
can
sorry
give
for
them-
the,
No, that's okay. I can
Yeah.
go ahead. I mean, no matter what, these are going to go to Lisa. Okay?
yeah.
We've
Yeah.
got a little bit of time,
Yeah.
so we can go ahead
So if they
and do
both
that.
come from the reserve, it seems like it's okay. But it does seem like you could just put it in this one,
Okay.
you know, just add the 12,000 to this one rather than, because
Mhm.
that's all coming from the reserve then.
Okay. And then it'll only be two, and it'll be one less warrant to vote on.
Right.
I mean, okay. I'll check the 2012, but like I said, I'll have Lisa
Yeah.
double check.
Let's see.
That's okay. No,
We're
no.
thankful that you have
I
your
know that.
archive, traveling archive.
Yeah. Okay, so last year, we said we were prepping 3 warrant articles,
Okay.
the annual set-asides and funding for administrative expenses, different one for the allocation of due diligence, and then
The fire.
the project, yeah.
Mhm.
So due diligence is separate.
It was last year.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a transfer.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, because the first one is set-asides, you're putting, and
But
then the next
that's
one
what,
is
yeah, so this one, this has to be,
Right.
well, I need to add the 12 to this, so I can take this out of here for transfer.
Okay. Got it.
All right, but no matter what, like I say, I'll double check with Lisa. Okay? All right, and then the third one, or second, depending, is, like I say, for the Sandy Pond School Association Conditions Assessment Funding. And the new warrant article submission form from last year, you need reason justification for the placement I'll be sending this to everybody so that you all can read it. What I did is I took some of the things from Sandy Pond's website, so that it goes ahead and gives a little bit of history, saying that, this is a treasure. And I think what I want to do now, after listening to Stacy, is to put in something about stewardship.
Yeah.
The stewards. Okay. Rewrite it somehow or another that way. But like I said, I just wanted to go ahead and do that. But I'll send it to you. And again, it's for $20,000. The way I've written it up.
Up to.
Pardon?
Up to.
Right. The way that I've written it is to see if the town will vote to transfer from the Community Preservation Fund balance reserve for historic the sum of money not to exceed $20,000 to the Sandy Pond School Association for the commissioning of a conditions assessment of the property to identify recommended physical repairs and restoration work, establish priorities for this work, and provide cost estimates. Okay?
So,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Balance reserve from historic. Like, I think, from, she's got it labeled historic resources, so maybe just saying from historic resources. And again, she can. From historic resources.
See, I used the
Oh,
word
the-
category last time, and I think,
And was that historic category?
yeah, from
okay,
historic
that's fine.
resources category.
Yeah.
Okay. The sum of money not to exceed.
Mhm.
Okay? All right then, so I'll go ahead and retype these out, send it out to everybody so that, in the feedback,
Mhm.
and then, I'll check with Lisa first about this, and then, like I say, to go ahead and get the wording. All right, so, again, that will be May 9th for town meeting. Okay. So that's that part. Okay. All right. One other thing under new business is, Beth, you want to talk a little bit about the new employee?
So I don't have a lot of details, but it's my understanding that the town has hired a new administrative assistant to work in support of a number of town offices and committees. And the person was hired by the Board of Selectmen and reports to the Board of Selectmen, but Robert, the town administrator, supervises the position. And at the time that they had proposed this position, I believe they had specifically identified that it would support planning and ZBA and conservation and open space and community preservation and all of the sort of land use type committees. And that they had made an intentional decision not to fund a town planner at this time, but that this is sort of an administrative support staff person that can help a variety of commissions. So there wasn't really outreach to the commissions and the committees at the time that they were scoping the position. But now that the position has been filled, I think that it's in the interest of committees like ours to identify some of the needs that we have for administrative support and put a request into Robert on behalf of the committee for for support services. And I realize that we don't have a significant amount of monthly work that we do, but I think that, for example, one of the things that we were talking about with the revisions to our application was figuring out how we could receive digital copies of applications that we could distribute and have archived and that sort of thing. So that's an example of maybe having a committee website that, the chair and this administrative person would be able to monitor and manage and make sure that everything gets, distributed accordingly and help with communications and, those sorts of, even just the mailbox things, that we don't have anybody who's present at town hall to assist with, those kinds of things. So the other thing that we have coming up is that we'll need to work on a new community preservation plan for the town. The one that we had done is currently expired and lapsed, and now that we're working on the open space and recreation plan, which we're also going to be asking for this assistant to help with some of the final edits for our open space and recreation plan. But that the comprehensive plan process is underway as well, and I think that trying to think about the next phase of the community preservation plan would make sense, and it might be that an administrative staff person could help with that as well, and that we wouldn't have to go out to a consultant as we did the last time, because I think we have a really good model for the last community preservation plan. We did hire a consultant with expertise in developing that sort of a plan, but it might be something that we could do internally and with staff support the next time around. So
That was Goldman?
Jennifer
Goldson.
Goldson. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so would you want me to generate a email to Robert saying, I understand, that we've got a new employee, and is it Miss Sandy or Sandy a guy?
Oh, a woman.
Is it a woman?
Sandra Bean.
Sandra? Okay, just want to check, because it could be Sandy. All right, okay.
Have you met her?
Just briefly yesterday.
Because I think yesterday was her first day.
Okay. That's way March 1st. Got it.
Where does she reside?
Third floor.
Oh, third floor.
Okay.
Right by the conservation staff. Right.
Yeah, the office has been rearranged, so hers is the first desk when you get off the elevator, and our
Because you were the first desk.
right, and it always looked like it was a secretary, and now it's he's moved back. He's got a window. He's happy.
So I'm going to go ahead and recognize that CPC, plan, plus also too, on how we can go ahead and streamline, digitize, some of the application processes and such like that. So, okay?
Jason.
All right. That's great. All right. Great. Okay, don't mean to call it old business, but we're underneath old business is Steve, because we've been talking about it and everything. So come on up. All right, how y'all doing?
Good, thanks.
That's good. Your mom?
Just take a chair.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I just want to let you know. Yeah, we're still probably being filmed because we had the public hearing. So, all right. So thank you so much for.
We are being filmed tonight.
Okay. Pardon?
We did get filmed tonight.
Yes, we did. So that's what. Yeah. Sorry, I thought I told. Oops. All right. So yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
this is
thanks.
good. Do you want to introduce?
Yeah, sure. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Safakis. I represent the Safakis family that's lived on High Street for 60 some odd years. And we have 5 lots there that we could sell to a developer, but we'd like to give the town of Ayer a chance to purchase it if they'd like for conservation land. I guess if you're not familiar with the lay of the land, I highlighted in yellow the 5 lots. Take a look at them. It's all wooded lots. Kind of could be a good buffer between downtown and all the residential area up there. It also abuts the Nonequacious Brook Reservation, which you can see it there. It says reservation for park there around Wachusett Street and Clifton Place. So it might be a good, dog walking trail, nature trail in the midst of all the development going on up there. I had already presented this to the Conservation Committee
Excuse me.
3 months ago, I think it was, or more now. And they walked the land, committee walked the land and everything then.
I know we've asked Jason to come on in from Parks and Recs, so that, because what we try to do is get a little sense of, how it could be used and such, keep it as open space. I gather with the terrain, I've walked it a long time ago, coming down the
Right.
hill and everything, and I just remember it's a hill.
Sure.
But, to go ahead and, to see what would be available. And we've also looked at some of the other lots around just to see who else owned, the Hudlin properties and everything else like that. What normally will, like I say, I sent you like the email, what ends up happening is we get like a pre-application, we're gonna, find out, what you're gonna be looking for a price and such. We then have to do, some sort of our own, I'm coming up with wrong words today.
Appraisal?
Appraisal, I know, yeah, I was gonna do assessment, but appraisal, so that we know what the property is gonna be worth and such. And I know that when we've asked, Parks and Rec, what they think could probably happen, it's gonna take a lot more work because of, the way that the train is, if we're gonna do anything, really with it. And then also too, if the town does purchase property, they have to do like a phase 1 assessment so that they know that, there's nothing else going on in
Right.
that land.
Sure.
There hasn't been anything else beforehand.
Yeah.
So, well, again, we're always interested because we'd rather go ahead and try to keep as much open space as possible.
There isn't much land left in there that hasn't been developed. So.
One way or another, true. And with it being right next to the park too, it would also be good, and we won't have Winthrop Ave cutting through and such. But that's my feedback. Anything else? I know that conservation, had some little concerns just because of
The commission as a whole was not interested in proceeding under its auspices. It needs a sponsoring group.
Okay.
And I think conservation thought probably something more like Parks and Recreation would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And what do you call it? Like I say, I know that there's going to be, a lot more work and such, because I know Jeff walked it, Jeff Thomas walked it. I don't think you did, Jason, yeah. Yeah. And did Jeff talk to you at all about it, or?
I mean, he said that we have to do some development up there. It'd be tough. If we can get both of the plots up there, I think I'm not gonna just look at that.
Oh,
There was another, because there's another, so there's adjacent to the one we own, or the town owns, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and these are the ones.
Yeah. So this is what the town owns already,
Right.
and maybe you guys were looking at
Which is
these other
The
lots
reservation
over
for
here.
park?
Oh,
Right,
that's right.
and these are the
Yeah.
ones that are yours.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if we could get pretty much, end up getting this whole chunk, it would be a lot more worth it.
Which one's 81 and 82? Is that what you mean?
I think you're looking at 83 and 84?
Yes.
Yeah. 83 is a house.
Yeah, but 84 and 86,
86 is.
Yeah,
or
or- open space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then we'd have some infrastructure to get in there, through the streets and everything. So, I mean, it could
Are
be-
those Hudlin, is 84 and 86 part of the Hudlin properties, or are those separately owned?
I believe
80
86 is probably Hudlin.
is Hudlin, 84 is LARBRA, is the name of the family. I don't know who they are. Do you know, Steve?
I don't.
Okay. And I know that,
And this is downslope, right?
Yeah, so goes up from, this is not a road here, so it kind of upslopes to the east.
Right.
Yeah, and this is an existing path on Winthrop, continues on through.
Right.
yeah, I know, like I say, 83 is a house already,
Right.
and that's the Fearings? Janelle,
Yeah.
let your mom know she's pregnant again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, due in the summer.
On
So,
camera.
Pardon?
On camera?
No,
Public announcement.
She made it public on Valentine's Day, so I'm not getting anything, so. Yeah.
He said that there could be some possibilities. It'd be tough. We'd have to do some development on the land. It would be better, the more of this kind of chunk, the better, that we could, if we could obtain or build onto. So I don't want to say it's, it's not doable or anything. Just I think we'd have to put some effort into developing and really putting thought into what kind of purpose we would use it for, and from a parks perspective. Right?
Because again, like Jess says, CPC, we can't sponsor it. We can, right? We have to have one of the other committees to
Sure.
say, and go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm on the Open Space and Recreation Plan Committee along with Jason and Jess, and Richard is a member of the Parks and Recreation Committee as well. But I think from the perspective of looking at all of the open space in town, there's not a lot of significant conservation value for these small parcels in isolation, and it's hard to foresee what's going to happen with the Hudland property and such in the future. And so I think that's where Conservation Commission was primarily coming from in terms of when you look in the grand scheme and with very limited funding resources, that this wouldn't be a priority for us in terms of the open space and conservation acquisition. However, we do have an intent to try and make more open space and recreation resources available to neighborhoods, and we do have, this neighborhood is sort of in proximity to the playground that's up by the school, and which connects to the hiking trails and such as well, and then the small pocket park that's by the Pleasant Street School. But I think it would be nice to consider adding this to, the suite of opportunities that people have for open space and recreation in the downtown area. Again, it just comes to the financial limitations, and so I think, if we could get a sense of the ability or interest in the family supporting a below market value sale of some sort, that would sway us significantly, because right now I think that the greatest concern is just that for a parcel of this nature we wouldn't want to make significant investment, and it's we just have to look in the larger scheme of all the open space that's available in town, even though it is very limited, that we just don't have that much money either. So
I mean, it's a good location on paper, flat, right?
Yeah.
To have a pocket park or a little playground, for sure. It's just a matter of feasibility of being able to develop it, and what kind of capital we would have to invest to get it up and put it in that space. Right. I haven't walked the space, so I'm just relying on kind of what Jeff's told me. We could certainly walk it again, and we've got a meeting coming up in a couple of weeks, so we can put it on the agenda to talk about it a little bit further.
I have Jeff's email up if you want me to read any of it. Hard to tell with the snow cover, but pretty apparent. The only access road that has been developed is on Cambridge Street, which becomes very narrow and offers zero parking in the current state. The entire property is heavily wooded, as is the adjacent property to the east of similar size and topography that is already owned by the town. So that's the Nonoquickus Reservation. There have been several discussions by the Parks Commission over the years to see if the current town-owned land property could fit with any of the objectives in the open space and recreation plan, but due to its composition had been deemed too prohibitive to be put to any constructive use. That said, there are some possibilities with the combination of both properties. The proposed property for purchase would offer a more realistic site to clear a parking area, which is a prerequisite to any use. While the terrain is sloped and uneven, I could easily visualize a pocket park there with a variety of options. This could include a standard fenced-in playground, one of the priorities for residents in any survey of what they would like to see more of in town. I guess that is identifying that the playground is one of the priorities that comes up in surveys. Having trees surrounding it would create more shade for hot summer days than most parks. If a long enough adjacent section were cleared and a fence was erected in front of Cambridge Street, it would almost certainly become the go-to spot for sledding in the winter, because of the hillside and if the land were cleared. The wooden and uneven terrain would actually be ideal for an exercise station trail, which is kind of like a ropes course sort of thing, I believe.
No, it's ever been on a trail and you see like a pull-up bar
Stations
or,
where you
Okay.
can exercise.
yeah, we
Gotcha.
stop and do it. Yeah,
Mhm. Okay. If there would be enough parking that could be created, it seems like it could be a great place for a dog park, though there already are preliminary plans to put one along Snake Hill Road, which would serve a little bit of a different population anyway. So again, he just is identifying that the total cost associated with acquisition and the work that would need to be made towards creating parking and clearing space would be, one of the things that we'd have to
Right.
determine if it's feasible or not. So he had estimated that, it would probably cost over $100,000 to develop the area. Not counting any costs just to create the parking area. So I'm not clear on if he's including parking in that estimate or if that's just the other clearing and amenities.
I don't know.
So, yeah.
I mean, I don't know that he included cost of like plumbing or anything like that. Or if it would just not.
Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Not for
Yeah.
the.
I mean, there's potential. I think we'd have to do some more investigation and just to see kind of go again now that the snow's gone or before more snow comes. In the next
Not
couple
this
weeks.
year.
Yeah, you never can tell. Remember, it's New
I mean,
England.
we
Yeah.
can talk to the DPW superintendent too. He can give us some good ideas about what, without getting into a quote or anything, but just give us the kind of ballpark figures of what some of the infrastructure would cost.
Yeah, I think Mark
Yeah.
went ahead and,
Did he?
yeah, he
He
ended up,
says that he and the town engineer also
I'm
viewed the
probably copied
site.
on that too. Huh?
that's okay.
Yeah.
In our opinion, due to the topography and the amount of ledge on the site, it will be very expensive to construct any facility on the site. It could function as open space or part of a train system, which I think is the trail training system.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's what we've gotten from them too.
What's your time frame? Because from what I understand, when I watched the video, we couldn't do anything definitely, for spring meeting because that's in May.
Right. We will probably hold on to the land for a couple of years until we decide that, we've got to do something with it.
Okay. All right. So you can give us time so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
all right, we're able to, to break it down a little bit more. And go ahead.
If you're interested in any information or resources about tax incentives associated with below market sales of open space land, I can provide resources
Oh, that'd be
in that
great.
regard too. So,
Okay.
because it depends on the situation and
Sure.
I know that there's siblings and everything involved too, but there are, tax incentives to putting land into conservation.
Yeah, I'd be interested in taking a look at that.
And you got Steve's email
Okay.
on this one
Yep.
here.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that for you. Because again, it would be nice to see if we can.
Yeah, I
Put it to good
understand.
use.
It would be better if there were a couple more parcels put together there, then there'd be more opportunities.
Yeah, and that's why,
Do some
I didn't know if you knew, some of those other individuals
Yeah,
and
that-
such.
Yeah, the ones right next door there, I know the Dowling family had owned that at one time, and then after that, I don't know. I don't know if that Laramie family was, who else lived there? Retired Army colonel. lived
Well, you're
there.
talking about Mr. Lewis's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't know if he owned, or if any of his family owned the back side of that too, or I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I mean, when I did speak with Janelle, like I say, in Lot 83, she didn't know anybody else, like, you know, pretty much around. And quick question with regards to the map. Lot 79 that you're showing here, that's part of the house, correct?
Yeah, the house lot's been sold.
The house lot's been sold, so
Yes.
that includes 75 and 79. Right?
75
No, it's two different
is Solarski's house.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, okay. All right, sorry. Okay. Got it. All right then. So, like I said, give us, you know, a little bit more time.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and Beth will get you some of the information, and we'll see how we can progress. I do appreciate you coming in, Steve. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, no
Good
problem.
Thank you.
Bye.
Don't be too.
Yeah,
All
Jason, you got it. Go home. Thank you. Okay. Let us know. Keep us informed. All right, Jason?
Yeah, sure. We'll talk about it.
Please. Okay, thank you.
So Parks and Rec is talking about it
Yes, we are.
at your next meeting, which is,
The 17th at 7:30, right here.
okay.
Wait, that's St. Patrick's Day.
You have to wear green.
How can we do that?
Easy.
That's a national holiday.
Used to be a state holiday.
It
Depends.
still is.
I know.
I guess
It
it
is
still
true.
is,
When
but-
you go downtown Boston, you don't get any work
Yeah.
done. No, which is sad. Mine is the 19th, St. Joseph's Day, so we're red and white that day. Okay. Moving along, just the committee reports. Parks and Rec.
We're meeting on St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
No, we were talking about the land here, the beaches. We got the, talked with Heidi about the beach, and we're getting, the lifeguards situated. And,
I made a mention to Pauline with regards to that other property down on West Central.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they
West
were,
Main?
West Main. West Main.
they were more interested in that one.
Because it's flatter.
Yeah,
It's easier.
and a little pocket park. I don't know, did Jeff talk to you about that at all?
No, just, like from our conversations, that's it.
Okay. Is there anything I need to do to bring back to him? or-
Nothing, I haven't heard back,
Okay.
so.
And the skating rink broke, so that's coming down. But we're gonna put a new one down by Peroni Park next year, on the basketball court, I think. Maybe.
What broke off?
So there
I
might
guess,
be
I guess
two.
the, maybe, I
Okay, don't know.
thought about two.
Mhm.
I guess the side gateway,
Oh,
and that was the end of it.
What's the status of planning for the perimeter path?
We had Mark, the DPW, is that his name, Mark? And they have drawn up some ideas. I don't know if it's official plans, but they're talking like it's a possibility, and it doesn't seem out of, it seems like it's gonna happen.
Is that something that with the town engineer now that we could do in-house sort of design and such, or would you guys have to hire someone to?
I don't know, because it all has to do, because the path runs along by the hillside, and that's state-owned, right? Elderly housing, that's state-owned. So we gotta work with them, and I think Mark's working with them also on their parking lot problem. So I think he's sort of getting them to work along with it, and I think he's planning that part.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of it, they've talked about putting in, to cut costs, instead of paving it, to put in stone. And,
Like crushed stone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not make it, get it going, get the project underway, and comply as you go along, I believe is how it was put.
Because I know, like, when we've talked about it at housing, when Jeff was there, it would be nice if the, either town engineer or whoever the engineers are, can come up with an idea to get some sort of retaining wall.
They got
So
a drainage system, so do I even have that here?
Because right now, it's just like a rock-type drainage, and you don't want it to go onto the path and ruin the path.
Especially if you put-
How's
especially
Sandy
if you put gravel
Pond?
in there.
Yeah.
I would advocate for like a crushed stone or cinder surface or something like that rather than a pebble gravel or anything like that.
Yeah,
Just to make
they
it a
were
little
going to
easier.
a crushed,
Yeah.
not a round.
Yeah,
It's for wheelchair.
Right, I
right,
was just gonna
exactly
say,
for accessibility and.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
but I think in the long
Term.
term, it's gonna be paved,
Yeah,
but to get it
incrementally.
going. Right, but to get it underway and,
Yeah.
they're gonna, go with crushed stone.
And there'll be different paths that, from what I.
Yeah, there'll be
understand-
some that will be all accessible.
Right.
And others that will, be more not accessible.
Right, but no matter what, it'll be all the way around.
Right.
I just think crushed stone would be a difficult surface to actually walk around after a while.
I imagine,
Uneven.
I think in the back, down by where the water is, that they need to take special care there with the,
Yeah.
and they have to take special consideration there, and they're still, what do we do there? But I seen the drainage plan, see, that's it, the drainage plan for the whole parking lot and down, because it was sort of messing up the fields. So now that they've got that down, I thought I had the plans for that, but I hope
Well, that's
I
good
don't.
that's good to know. Then I'll let Ken know from the housing, so that he can make sure that, Mark is still in touch with him, because we had to put the paving of the back parking lot on hold because we didn't have the funds for it. So that's why we want to make sure that everything goes in sync.
Yeah.
So we're not, and hopefully that can get paid sometime sometime this year. All right,
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
I have it, sorry.
that's okay. All right,
That's it.
nice. Historic?
I always signed the preservation restriction for the fire station.
Okay.
The way it's going to go through, except we didn't know we were supposed to supply pictures for it. So we got the preservation restrictions, said see exhibit, whatever it was, for photos, and said, hey, there's no photos. Oh, you're supposed to supply the photos, but nobody told us.
Oh,
The ones without the wings, you mean, and all that, or?
Well, no, because preservation restriction is gonna be, take care of, it actually includes the facade, so they want the facade in there.
This is the old firehouse?
Oh, the old fire station, yeah.
Which is
Yeah, the
now
one
sold.
over-
Oh, just, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
GNS hold.
Well, I'm not sure, has they signed the paperwork yet?
No,
I'm not sure
I
if
don't
they-
think the paper, it's
I
still.
was asking.
I understood the closing was supposed to happen, this is the second, right? Closing
Yeah.
was supposed to happen today,
Oh.
that's what I
Oh.
understood. Last week, that's what I understood.
So what was the purpose of the preservation restriction?
For the, to maintain the
To maintain.
historical significance of the facade.
So it's sort of the conditions that they need to maintain
And
the
the
facade as they.
The cupola,
Yeah.
or the cupola, however it's pronounced, but, that includes that structure on the top as well.
And how's everything going for Dr. Ayers, or?
Oh, we're working on, we got, actually, we had Ruth just gave me some logos to use for our publicity, but that's moving along. We've submitted our photos for further publicity, and I had some actually, Ruth gave me some interesting descriptions of what went on back in the early 1870s regarding the town hall. People weren't happy about it, which was strange, because you think, all this work into a town hall, but they wanted more money rather than 10,000. They thought because he was a millionaire that he'd be giving them, $100,000, and it didn't work, and they were not happy about it. Wow. And how the roof sagged, and they didn't have any heat in the front, so they had to add the chimneys later on to put heat in the front. It's actually pretty interesting. It's an interesting read if you want to make a couple extra copies if you want to read it. This is it here, but it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, for next meeting,
Yeah,
if you
pretty
get copies, but
yeah.
that would be good.
Where are you gonna
Yeah.
have the exhibit again, or the
May
function?
14th in here.
Is here, okay.
And we'll also include a pamphlet for a self-guided tour downtown.
Great.
Nice. That's good, thank you. All right. Housing, we received a resignation letter from Karen Swanfeld, the director of the Council of Aging. She is not looking to take out papers for the Housing Board. So we are now looking to get a replacement on the ballot. And that was as of last meeting.
How do you spell her last name?
SW ANFELDT, I think.
I'll check it.
Yeah.
I can look that up online.
Okay. All right. It's KARIN. Anyways.
Karin.
Yeah, SWANFELDT. Okay. And I'm going to be going to a couple of their training sessions for Housing Board members. And that's, one of them is this Saturday with legal ethics. So I think that would be, like I say, that's going to be good for all around. The more I can get that underneath my belt, the better I am. And pretty much that was the big thing. That's it.
For open space, we're hoping to have a meeting tomorrow night. We still haven't gotten confirmation that we'll have a quorum. We don't have any, there's not been found a night that all of the committee members can meet, so we really have a hard time getting a quorum at times. And I'm also going to be talking to Robert about the support from the new administrative staff regarding final edits for the open space and recreation plan. I think at the last meeting, did we know that the complete streets policy had been accepted by the Board of Selectmen, or that it was just in development? I can't remember.
No, I think we did say it. I think it's in the minutes.
But it was accepted.
Somewhere.
Last page.
Has agreed to consider developing a complete street policy. No, it hasn't been.
So-
Yep.
What page
So-
are you on?
The member committee updates?
So the Board of Selectmen, I think in their second
Right.
meeting in February, approved the policy. And so the next steps will be to develop an implementation plan. And I believe that will probably, I haven't talked to Mark about details or anything, but I believe that it would be, an RFP would be developed, which would request consultant services, and that we would be able to get funding from the state, if all goes well, to support that initiative to develop the implementation plan, which would include a prioritization of the sort of roadway networks that we would prioritize for having better bicycle and pedestrian accommodations.
Okay. Conservation?
Brian has produced a wonderful, huge poster that he's working on getting framed that shows all the housing parcels in Ayer, but also indicates their jurisdictional, what lots are sort of jurisdictional to the Conservation Commission, mostly based on wetlands and river stream things.
Does it include the protected lands, the lands that are permanently protected?
Um,
In 51?
No,
Or 61? Oh.
no, town-owned
Oh, town-owned
parcels and such,
um,
because that might be interesting to include.
but that wouldn't affect our buffer zone requirements, would it? Yeah, so this is just mainly for us to look, because there's only so much you can put on one map, and he's gonna be working on other maps down the road, but this one's mainly so we can have a quick way of looking at, somebody comes in and says, hey, I'm thinking of doing this work on my property, do I have any conservation issues? And we could sort of look at that and say, yeah, you're close to this wetland or this stream, so it's more for determining a buffer zone.
At Red Cross, we used to have this, overlay that came down, so it had all this, then you could pick that one up and put another
Yeah.
one down, so it had all
Yeah,
that.
The early
he's gonna be-
GIS.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
gonna be playing around with developing some other types of maps too for us to use.
Okay, that's nice.
We still haven't finalized our geosyntech report yet. We just got back to them with some comments of some revisions that we would like to improve it
Mhm.
so that it's more usable for developing a management plan and requesting funding. So to be continued.
Are you planning on a public presentation of it at some point? Okay.
That was the plan. So,
Okay, good.
yeah.
So we
And
can
there
see
might
what
still be a few outstanding comments that could roll in at some point,
Not, I mean, and I think what we're hoping to get it finalized, there's a point where it has to be closed.
yeah,
Um,
I didn't hear about a deadline, so, but we'll.
Well, we don't, I mean, we're just trying to get them to do something, but if there were any other comments, you should know now, because
Okay.
we can't keep going back.
I know.
Yeah.
We funded so much.
I've been thinking much on the merits of the phrase, perfect is the enemy of the good. So, it's like, you just need, but we need it better than it is.
And
Yeah.
someone else
So-
once said, if the world was perfect, it wouldn't be. If the world was perfect, it wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be, yeah. Yeah. All right, so get the feedback in, that would be good. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Next item that I forgot is, I'll go ahead and generate the updated version for the town report. That has to be in by the end of the week. So I've been working on it, but haven't finished it. And it just will have the fire station and Habitat for Humanity for being
Yeah.
things that we've accomplished last year. And what we're looking forward to is open space, which that's what we want. And the Sandy Pond. So,
Yeah, you could mention that we'd started hearings on preliminary discussions in 2015 on the Sandy Pond School.
okay.
I would
Yep.
say.
I'll do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, is there any other business? No? Then can I get a motion?
Motion we adjourn.
Okay, seconded? Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Hey.
All right.